February 10th meeting of the Radford City School Board will come to order. Please join me in a moment of silence. Thank you. Now if you'll stand, Cece Davey and Libby McConnell are going to lead us in our, come on up for those. Yeah. In our Pledge of Allegiance. Sorry. Okay. Ready?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Stacy just told me I'm not mic'd up. And so, second. All right. I just want to read a couple of proclamations or announcements. First of all, the DIS and Bell Heath Spelling Bee winners and runners-up. At Bell Heath, the champion is Callan Thomas. Congratulations, Callan. And for DIS, the school champion is Jace Vandergrift. Congratulations to Jace. Now, the district spelling bee will be on Thursday, February 19th at 6 o'clock at Radford High School's auditorium. So come out and support them if you can. All right, and the next is very near and dear to our hearts. This is a proclamation on behalf of the Radford City School Board. Whereas school board clerks in each locality throughout our Commonwealth are appointed by law to fulfill their duties and responsibilities, and whereas school board clerks are responsible for keeping accurate records of the meetings and proceedings of the school board, a record of all receipts and disbursements, and a record of all official acts, and whereas school board clerks perform such other duties as may be required by the school board, and whereas school board clerks maintain frequent contact with the public, including parents, employees, and the media on behalf of the school board and superintendent, and whereas school board clerks in the performance of their duties are often required to work extra hours attending school board meetings, and whereas school board clerks join with school boards to help ensure that students achieve to their highest potential, and whereas school board clerks provide an invaluable service for school board members and superintendents, the VSBA Board of Directors does hereby recognize the third week of February as School Board Clerk Appreciation Week in the Commonwealth of Virginia. And whereas the Radford City School Board joins the VSBA in recognizing the many and varied contributions of school board clerks, now therefore be it resolved that at this meeting on the 10th day of February 2026, the Radford City School Board also recognizes that third week of February as School Board Clerk Appreciation Week. Carrie Long and Cindy Blankenship is not here, but we appreciate you more than words can say.
So, if I may, Carrie continues to put in requests to have her office moved on this end of the building so that she's not so as easily accessible to me, and I would continue to deny that request. Otherwise, it wouldn't go well for me. And I say all that to say how much I appreciate. She's just a little bit of everything to everybody. A clerk is what she is to you guys and to me, but she's also lots of other things to this entire organization. And Cindy Blankenship, if you think that I have it pulled together enough to put this meeting agenda together and all the things that goes with it, I'm sorry to tell you that it's all Cindy Blankenship. And so she does a really good job, and every day before she leaves on board day, she wishes me luck, and that's not necessary because she's the one behind all this.
Yeah.
So I want to thank Cindy Blankenship, who isn't with us tonight, but Ms. Long, thank you for all you do.
Absolutely. Okay. Everyone should have had time to review the agenda. If there are no questions, is there a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, it is approved.
All right. So, School Board Clerk Appreciation Week is next week, but we weren't going to be here together as a group, so that's why we went ahead and took care of that business. But what we are here for tonight, in part, is to celebrate the school board. February has been designated School Board Appreciation Month, and I am the luckiest superintendent in Virginia because I have this school board to work with. You guys are supportive in every facet of the business. Even on days when school is canceled, you don't judge, you support. So those are some of the most difficult decisions that we have to make as a team here at central office, but it's made easier because you guys support us. And you're willing to learn and sort of get a peek behind the curtain as to what goes in some of the decisions that we make, not just weather related, but that seems to be the low-hanging fruit right now. By the way, we're on time tomorrow. I know you'll be happy to hear that. That'll be day number 3. But I too, so we've had some snacks tonight in your honor. You got a little social media love. There'll be a gift or two coming your way. I think the buckets and I have a tote came from CTE in honor of
With goodies.
right, in honor of School Board Appreciation Month. But I also have something I'd like to read quickly, please. Whereas the education of Virginia's school-aged children is the foundation upon which the economic, social, and intellectual capital of our state is built, and whereas locally elected school boards play an important and vital government role, and decisions made by local school boards directly influence instruction in Virginia's public schools, and whereas these decisions affect the present and future lives of children, and also set direction to prepare all students to be competitive in a local, state, national, and global 21st century knowledge economy. And whereas local school board members work with parents, businesses, education professionals, and other community members to create the educational vision we want for our students. And whereas this year's theme, From Strong Roots Come Endless Possibilities, highlights the vital role school board members play in planting the seeds for success, ensuring every student has the resources needed to grow and reach their full potential. And whereas School Board Appreciation Month provides an opportunity to celebrate Virginia's school board members who champion the mission of public education. Now, therefore, be it resolved, Radford City Schools joins the Virginia School Boards Association in recognizing the contributions of the local school board members to the academic success of its students and expresses its sincerest recognition to board members for their focus on the well-being and achievement of students throughout the Commonwealth. And be it finally resolved that Radford City Schools declares February 2026 as School Board Appreciation Month and encourages local community members and leaders to appropriately recognize our school division's dedicated school board members. So with that, I have a little recognition for you to hang on your wall, okay? If you'll just find your name and pass the others down. Right. And then we'll all kind of meander around here for a really nice picture, okay?
There I am.
Yes, and Cole Martin is also, you get some wallpaper too. Cole brings a real neat perspective to the board, and we appreciate that.
Absolutely.
All right, want to come up front for a picture, please? By the way, McCarg has sent over, with the lack of school days, we weren't able to prepare artwork proper, but McCarg did deliver this
I love that, yeah.
tree of knowledge, if you will.
Good
See, the
grief.
branches have their names on them, and the foliage has each school's name on it.
Oh gosh, I can't get it. It's a different hook. Oh, I see. It's different.
Just smile, really pretty. Not on the board.
Okay, well, I'll hold it for everybody.
Okay. All right. Act like you like each other. 1, 2, 3. Yes, please. And from higher. Oh, okay.
Take off 20 years and 10 pounds.
Thank you. Okay, so you will have to share your month of February with our CTE folks. And in honor of CTE Appreciation Month, we'd like to recognize and bring to the podium Ms. Kirsten Mosley. And guests.
Hello, good evening, everybody, and please accept our gifts of little buckets full of candy. And there are vases of flowers in the back too, so please make sure you take a vase with you. Those are from our floral arrangement class. This is Kemper Marion. You probably recognize him from the many other activities that he helps us out with in his FFA trip and conference that he came back and told us about, but he's going to help me talk a little bit about all the things that are happening with CTE, including how we wrapped up our Bridge to Excellence in Manufacturing program, which, as you all know, was the brand new first of ever cohort to start. And we went to 9 to 10 different industries over the course of 10 weeks and got a really good insight of what our students can be doing right here in the New River Valley. So Kemper, do you want to take it away and talk a little bit about maybe one of your favorite places or something? Yeah.
I would say my favorite place is probably Moog, because I work there and it's really a great outside view on the place about it and how welcoming they are and how really friendly they are. I've gone on a couple field trips, but this one was more in depth, and we sat down, had a real talk about how you can get a job, how the whole company works and everything like that, and how everybody works together. Other than that, all the other places, they were really great too, except that one was more welcoming than the other ones. The other ones were great and really showed you the whole entire what they do and how they do and where it is, because most people don't know where these things are, and they're 30 minutes from your house, which is amazing.
And as you can see, we're wearing our swag. Part of the grant that we were able to get also, besides provided the steel toe shoes, high-vis vest, safety glasses, gloves, and we also we just got literally, right as break started for winter, we got these in the day of. So most of our students, this is the first time ever, we've gotten a chance to wear them. So we're very proud of the Bridge to Excellence logo that will be kind of for all of our programs that Pulaski us share together and that our students created. And then we gave to 11 West, another local business, to create with us. So that was been a lot of fun. Some of our other students couldn't make it tonight because they're in class, actually at New River Valley, finishing up their certification programs in some different areas. So you can kind of see, this was what we said at the ceremony. It was a slideshow of all the places that we went and some of the fun activities as we were preparing to get our little booties on in Red Sun Farms and our little hair nets that we had to do. And it was just really fascinating to see all of the growth that they do and hear about them. And again, they went through an HR show and told us a little bit about that and how to get hired and retirement all the way through that, and then how to get jobs and all the way from the beginning all the way up. Patent warehousing was awesome because the students really got to see, obviously, empty soda cans galore and all sorts of things there, but that they could do right out of high school. They could, with their driver's license, learn to drive a lift machine. There was, the engine, special trucks that they fixed from Volvo. Yeah, diesel mechanics. So, I mean, it was just really fun. You can see as we kind of continue all the different things that we got to see, and from manufacturing to, that was this part on the inside of Patton where they actually had to, it was like Life 360 for Patton. Basically, they kept track of all of their trucks, and at all times there's someone constantly watching their trucks to make sure they were getting to where they need to be safely. So it was really cool to see that side of it too, and all the IT part too that they had to do to keep up with who was putting what on shelves. And I mean, it was just a well-oiled machine. So it was really cool. And we've been to local back, in Regal Rexnord. We went to Hollinsworth and Bose, where we got to learn about the filters that are going to be in the all the crazy. I'm not thinking of any of the words right now. Database centers and stuff in Northern Virginia, places the filters we use right in our own offices and stuff. So, and then Moog, how we send things to space, we don't realize it. So yeah. Thomas, you can please keep watching as I read this. This is from Thomas Leftwich, one of our students that couldn't make it tonight. He wanted me to read this to you. This is a great program to get to know all about the industries that are in the NRV area. We also got certified in a couple of different things through NRCC, but in between that, we got to go tour industries that were in this local area and get to know what they look for and what they will need in this growing economy. In the end, I believe that this is a great program for people that want to stay local and get a very good job with a wide range to look from. This was a great opportunity and we had a very good time. I just hope that more students can find out about this, especially if they are looking to stay in the NRV area and possibly get their training or schooling paid for through that company or the ACE program. Thanks for letting me be part of this program, Thomas. So now we're kind of getting into some of these other things that we're doing in CTE. So as we literally bridge over, you can stop at slide 38, actually. There you go, right there. So some of the other things that are happening in CTE, actually I'm going to take a pause really fast. As we finish manufacturing, we're going to actually bridge right into healthcare. So we are in the process of contacting all of our healthcare industries right now. Pulaski and I, we had our meeting earlier this week, or last week actually, with some possibilities for our students to go visit some local hospitals, rehabilitation centers, physical therapy places, obviously our local community colleges from Wytheville all the way to Virginia Western. So we're just trying to make sure we kind of hit everything for our students, knowing that they are some of our younger students, and we do know that there's some kind of limitations on how long we can stay at certain places when they're open, confidentiality, age, but we're learning a lot as we go too. So we hope to start our first trip will be hopefully on March 6th with Radford University in athletic training and hopefully get on their campus to do some nursing programs. And then we're just kind of branching out there all the way into May. So look forward to hearing more about that. Some other shout outs that we'll talk about. We saw some of the pictures already. The floral design is doing some sustainable floral arrangements. So you can see some of those pictures that they had to go and find things in our backyard of the high school and things that they can reuse. Newspaper, specialty pots, maybe things that have already kind of broken apart that maybe instead of throwing away, we can reuse for different reasons. So that was a lot of fun. We had those on display right before the 2-week break. Had a boot full of flowers. So that was really fun. Bunchy had some of you come over and see his classroom where they built the steps and the different walls and did some electricity. So they had building trades in the electricity classes working together to make sure they've learned all about all the different things that go into building a house. So that was a lot of neat fun to see. They're actually taking that apart to rebuild for the new group. So that's fun as well. Some other things happening, if you want to go to the last slide, Stacy. Thank you. Television media, they're obviously doing the daily podcast production. Media One students are learning Adobe and Premiere Pro. They were invited to do some interviewing and record the chamber gala last Friday, but with the weather and cancellation of school, Mr. Simpson and I felt it was best just to maybe pass on this time so we can get a little more preparation for it, but hopefully there'll be some more invitations to those types of things for our students. Drafting, they're doing some 3D printing, creating models for residential walls and learning Autodesk Fusion, precision machining. You want to do a little metalwork update for us? What's Mr. McPeak doing?
We're making sure everybody's getting OSHA 10 certified to prepare for workforce, and we're making items to sell at the greenhouse sale. This one's you can hang it up, you can put it on a stand. It's a spinning, just pretty neat. We're still doing our bugs and all that stuff, and yeah.
Skipping ahead a little bit, why don't you talk about, we had our CT 8th grade tour today, and Mr. McPeak couldn't be here today, so Kemper stepped up and was teacher, and you talked to our 8th graders about some things going on, and what were they like talking to you today?
They were mostly excited about the pay and how easy it is to get a job out of high school or in high school, because I had to brag on myself on getting a job during high school, and they were really excited on the hands-on learning part of it. Most students are they think, oh, machine shop, it's just like I'm gonna be watching someone do something, but no, in this class you actually go and do it with your hands. You're learning with your hands.
You talked about you got to take them home. I mean, the kids are really like, do we just not get to even see them anymore? And you're like, no, whatever you make, you get to
Yeah,
take home
yeah,
or
you get
sell. I mean, it was really cool.
Yeah, so everything you make in there, you get to take home yourself, and you can, if you really want to, you can put your heart into it and sell things out of that class.
So it was really neat. The kids, Kemper did great. Some of the things that Cody's doing in his 3D printing that we want to sell for some school-based enterprising, koozie, obviously for soda, putting things in. So we're hoping to put some things out there with his 3D and some specialty things. So we're doing a lot of fun things that we're hoping that will get everybody ready for football season in the next year. So that'll be a lot of fun. Miss Givens is also getting ready for Valentine's Day. Her flowers were delivered today, so we're putting orders in for those. And she's also getting ready, along with Mr. King, for an FFA competition, Greenhouse and Student Expo Sale, which will be in late April. And then Mr. Mook, obviously does a lot of the catering tonight, so that's awesome. And he's also working on students baking with flour. He's helping with our winter formal dance this coming week, this Thursday night. And also some of our students are getting ready for their Serve Safe Food Manager certification. So we have a few students that are ready for that next round. Like I said, Mr. King is also working on FFA. He just got 2 new lift machines that will help him roll his lawnmowers up so that you don't have to bend over quite so far or you can go underneath of the machines. So that's been helpful getting that in. They're about 3,000 pounds of equipment trying to move on a dolly yesterday in the snow. So that was fun. Miss Wright is our new sports athletic teacher. So she's also doing some 3D modeling and kind of doing some athletic training. They've ordered some tapes. So the students are kind of early on learning about early athletic training, but it is a dual enrollment class. So that's been fun. And Miss Moore is working on our Teachers for Tomorrow class, getting some classroom experience for students and getting them down in hopefully the elementary schools. And then Miss Philpott is doing a lot with Radford University with her IT fundamentals class with the Impact Lab and getting students specialty certifications and credentials there. And then helping students learn about entrepreneurship and what they can be doing on their own. And finally, we always kind of don't realize that EPF is Econ Personal Finance is actually part of CTE, but they help us a lot with preparing our students with work readiness. So we are going to begin that testing very soon, the week of March 2nd. And so Ms. Thompson and Mr. Cox are a huge help in helping us understand that program and get ready for that specific credential for our younger students, as our teachers are also preparing our older students in upper level classes for those credential exams. Like I said, we had the CTE tour. It was like speed dating through CTE today, about 6 minutes in each program for them to kind of sell and see what's there. But for them, it's a great visual. So when we start registration in a few weeks for those students, they get to understand like they were in Mr. McPeak's machining class. They get to remember that. They get to remember the guinea pig they got to hold. They got to see the small engine. They got to see the kitchen. So those are things. It was really neat. Miss Young did a great, they got to go into the media room and see all the things as they're preparing for the Bobcast. So all of our programs, our health classroom, full of mannequins and models of what they get to do. So a lot of initiatives for our students to get to know about. And then we have our registration fair tomorrow for our upper class students to see again and talk to. And this includes all of our core classes, our fine arts as well. So they get prepared for their next group of classes that they get to register for. So it'll be tomorrow during second block. And then really the CTE program is growing just by our name. We're getting asked to do lots of things through the city, through different initiatives. Of course, we'll be doing our flowers in the spring as well. We're partnering with Onward NRB to get our younger students out as well. So we want to maybe prepare them for industry or looking ahead to what they might want to do with the manufacturing field experience trips or even just the class registration. So it's just a lot of fun. We've been doing a lot as we get ready for this next round of credentialing exams. GoTech still working and getting stronger with getting ready for that kind of grand opening. And then, of course, we'll be finalizing Perkins in the next couple, I guess, 2 months or so. And then the comprehensive local needs assessment is due this year as well. So I'll be finishing that along with Perkins. And, yeah, we'll finalize another year. So CT, get ready. Any questions or thoughts or comments, mainly for Kemper? I can talk all night long.
I would just say thank you all for the program, what you're doing, the work you're putting into it. You know, both everyone involved in it, because today it completely unsolicited, unprepared. But part of my role in my work is that I go and speak to business and commercial clients out in the community. For privacy reasons, I won't say who, but I was actually speaking to a decision maker at a business in Montgomery County today at 1 o'clock. And he was very complimentary of this program specifically. He said, I love it. I've spoken to the students. I've seen the program in action, in person. And he was very excited. He said, because it's allowing them as a business to have students they know are prepared, motivated, and excited, that do have an understanding of what coming to their business to work is going to be like and what the opportunities are. So instead of having to go out and actively recruit someone or look for someone that isn't a good fit, they're excited. He said, we have the ability to provide a livable wage and a good lifestyle for a person who's motivated, because not everyone needs to go down the same path. I have clients, this client in particular, he didn't need to go that, formal education path and get a paper on the wall. He has his certifications, which far exceed anything I could do, but he makes a substantially good living by any measure. And like I said, he's a decision maker now for a major company. So he was very complimentary. I want to say thank you because it was nice. He's like, well, do you have time to go take a quick tour? I said, actually, I've got a board meeting I get to tonight. Oh, what board are you on? I said, school board in Radford City. He goes, let me tell you something about your CTE program. I'm like, okay, first off, the term CTE, so good you.
Right.
And he's like, well, I had some students come by and we talked to them and this was fantastic. He said, I love what you guys are doing there. How can I get involved? I said, 1, thank you for being involved. 2, we always take donations. Don't misunderstand that. And just stay involved in the program. Keep us there. Ask any questions you have. Come and speak to us. Let us know what you need, and we'll work with you. And he was very complimentary. So thank you. I appreciate it. And I know our community does benefit from it, because if a customer is willing to tell a banker that, it's real.
Thank you. Yes, trade has been in the news a lot lately. So, it's just everywhere I go, I feel like I'm seeing a newspaper about trade skills and jobs. And we also, thank you all for your support and guidance and helping us and coming out and seeing things and wanting to be part of things. We have a wonderful group of students, especially seniors, that have really promoted this program. I think over the last really 4 years since you all have started, I feel like this program has just gotten huge because of our senior group too. I think they have really taken it by their hands and just loved on it. So, and then a lot of it came from the students before them too. So I think we couldn't have done it without former students, current students, and you all for sure to help us and our community supporting us, because they are coming to us to say, what can we do? I had a meeting last week with another community member to say, what can we do to get our students in for internships and job shadowing? So that was really good conversation. So thank you all so much.
Well, thank you, Ms. Mosby, for
We are
everything that you do.
so excited.
And congratulations to that young man for his accomplishments.
Thanks, Kemper.
Well, Ms. Mosby continues to rise to the challenges that I present to her. And tomorrow there'll be another challenge coming her way.
Whoops.
So she knows. But this is going to be, if we can see this through, this will be a game changer. I'll just put it to you that way. She and Mr. Simpson have been charged with the task of making it happen. Sorry. Okay, that's all for School and Student Showcase.
All right, looking at our consent items, I believe we have an additional field trip here. Is that correct? Is that what that is? Was a middle school all-district band event. Is that a facilities thing? Or
No, that's a field trip.
field trip. Okay.
It's an overnight field trip.
Okay. So that has been added. To EC Glass in Lynchburg. So whenever you're ready, I will entertain a motion to approve the consent items.
So moved.
And a second.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Did we have anyone speaking? Okay. All right. I'll toss it back to you, Dr. Joyce.
Thanks very much. Our first agenda item tonight originates at the high school. So if Mr. Simpson will come forward, he has presented to me some ideas to add to our course selection for next year, and I will be the last person to turn things like that down. I think the more our kids have as far as options go, the better. So at this time, I'd like to hear from Mr. Simpson.
All right, thank you all for having me. I would like to promise that I would not come at every single meeting with these ideas like I did last spring, but it's hard to make that promise because these come out of conversations that we have with teachers, like at our lead teacher meetings. We just had several scheduling, planning meetings with school counselors. We met for 2.5 hours and talked about the course catalog, and this has been approved. Well, what about this? What about this opportunity for kids? And so we have those conversations, and we want to put them in front of our students. The master schedule is really built on student interests, not necessarily. We have to live within the parameters of our staffing, of course, but we want to know what kids want to take. And so that's where these 4 came from. We tried to capture all of them, but I can't promise there won't be more in the future. So the first 2 are physics and AP physics. We currently do not offer those, and students that want to take those classes have to take them through Virtual Virginia, which is an option. But we also receive some feedback every year. Virginia Tech and other universities give us feedback, especially through the on-site program. And there was a need for more. We would like to see, especially kids going into engineering, we'd like to see more physics on transcripts. We want to be able to offer that at Radford High School. So those are the first 2. And if the interest is there, then we will pursue finding someone certified to teach those. Principles of Business and Marketing, that is an intro level course. Ms. Philpott is new to us this year, so being the first time she's gone through the course registration process, we really do like to give our CTE teachers some input in how they want to run the program. That's why last time we talked about Ag Power, because it was FFA, not what we thought it was going to be, because Mr. King weighed in on that program. Also, our entry-level course had been entrepreneurship. We still want to use that, but the state, I guess it's VDOE, came out with a new idea for how to utilize entrepreneurship, which would have been like a capstone course after kids go through, let's say, ag, then they tack on entrepreneurship at the end of their experience and how to use those skills and how to market them in a business model. So we're thinking about moving that to more of an upper level class, and this would be the intro class to the business pathway, the principles of business and marketing. So that's where that came from. And then on the back page there, we have our dual enrolled nurse aide. So right now we have Intro to Health and Medical Sciences and Medical Terminology. This class would be the class where students can at the end test and earn their CNA. I believe that has existed in the past at Radford High School and then went away. We'd like to bring that back. Again, we would need a critical mass of students interested in that. So we want to gauge their interest and see if that's something we would add this year or maybe in the future. I know I put down that it's dual enrollment. That would again be based on the instructor, so there is a non-dual enrollment version of that. But if someone's certified, then we would like to offer that to kids. So, like I said, we're going to continue to try to find those opportunities. We don't want to spread ourselves too thin, but this time of year, kids are going to sign up for classes starting February 19th. So those numbers really drive our master schedule for next year. Do you have any questions?
Like, where do you get the curriculum for these added classes? Is it state provided or?
Yes. So the science, those would have standards of learning from
Right.
VDOE, the teachers, and of course we're part of CIP. So there's a lot of resources that are already out
Right.
there. The CTE classes have a CTE resource website,
Okay.
correct? And so those contain the competencies and a lot of other resources for students on there. AP, if it's a new AP course, College Board, there's AP Classroom. And we would normally, if a teacher, let's say we had a physics teacher and they were teaching AP Physics for the first time, we'd send them to AP training where they'd gain a lot of skills that way.
Okay.
So the curriculum, comes in, you have the standards and you have resources, but then we would go through picking out a appropriate textbook as well.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
And when does registration begin?
Kids are gonna start signing up February 19th.
Perfect. So
Yep.
there's 4 new options for those folks.
All right.
And Mr. Simpson and I sort of have a rule where, if it's 1 or 2 children, that would be hard to staff. So I try to cut it off at double digits, and he works really well with his guidance folks about that. So, all right, thank you, sir. Speaking of textbooks and curriculum, next I'd like to welcome to the podium Dr. McDaniel. About every 6 years, we adopt a new textbook for any given subject, and this year it happens to be math's turn.
Yes, I have a sidekick today.
And you have a math sidekick? Okay, good.
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you, ladies.
Ms. Price has been instrumental in this process as our math specialist and an expert in math curriculum. So she's kind of led the charge in that, and I'm going to kind of turn it over here to her and just interject every now and then.
Anytime you want.
Okay.
Okay, so there was a House bill that was passed that said by July 1st, 2026, that we had to adopt highly qualified materials. So with our process, we looked at the Bradford City policy, which can be clicked there. But basically what it says is we have to have a committee. So we did get our committee, and Dr. McDaniel actually brought those names.
Yeah, we kind of started this process even a little bit last year, but we decided we weren't going to be in a hurry. We went in with a CIP group that we were all looking at math curriculum to adopt and thought we might leverage the size of that, but then our teachers really wanted something a little bit more personalized to what they needed. So we let them make that decision. So our committee, well, we have the committee in there later on.
So we looked at multiple different textbooks. The first ones are just K through 5. So we looked at Kedem, STEM Scopes. By the way, these are all approved by the Virginia Department of Education has put out a list for math. So they said these are the ones that we would like you to choose from. So we looked at those there for grades K through 5. And then if you'll click, we looked at Math Space and Savvis and Vision for grades 6 through Algebra 2. Over the past few months, we have met with the team there. So like each one of those grade level representatives went back and met with their grades. And at times I actually met with the whole group. Like I would meet with the whole entire kindergarten team, the whole entire first grade team. Sometimes we met with just the representatives. For Dalton and Radford High School, we included everyone that teaches math simply because they teach different things. Like Tammy Dye teaches Algebra 1 at Dalton, and Stacy Toll teaches 7th grade at Dalton. So we met with all those people to come up with a consensus, and our consensus was, leaving a part out. So another thing that we had to do was make it available for community members to look at the textbooks and that kind of thing and give us feedback. They were actually on display right outside this room. They were actually there a lot longer than that, but we had it on
Like
the
last week.
until I moved them out of the way, and so we're moving on. But they were on display out there. We also had the links on the RCPS webpage. We got absolutely no feedback from anyone on the math textbooks. So then we went with meeting with the teams and deciding, and our final decision came down to grades K through 5 wanted HMH math. We do have HMH reading through Jane. So they felt like it was really good to have the connection there between the two programs. The Savvis was the choice for grades 6 through 8. And then our high school courses will go with Math Space. Just so you know, for Tammy Dye specifically, who teaches Math 8, and then she teaches Algebra 1, So math space will be used for the kids that are taking Algebra 1 at the middle school level. So that was the decision.
And that's one of the reasons we included sixth grade with our middle school group, because we also have the advanced math classes in our sixth grade classes that are offered, so we thought it just made more sense. And it also might help with their transition to middle school if they already got somewhat familiar with those materials and kind of the setup and the format and that kind of thing. So that worked out well, and I will say Ms. Price went back and forth with the teachers a lot, and they truly made the decision. The teachers made the decision after trying out multiple kinds of materials. They had an alignment, which was linked in there too, for SOLs, but what we found was sometimes, even if something had a high percentage of alignment, it might be that they only had one item in there that addressed a certain SOL. And they felt like our kids needed more practice on some of those, and they wanted more explicit instruction materials. Some of them had a lot of what's the word I'm looking for?
It was productive struggle.
Yeah, productive struggle. I couldn't come up with the word. And they didn't like that in the lower grades. So it's where you have to just kind of figure things out. They wanted them to learn, have explicit instruction, practice, and then maybe introduce some of that productive struggle so they could do some critical thinking with it. So anyway, just want you to know that the teachers truly got what they wanted, and we asked them over and over and over again. Let's be sure the whole team's on board here. So, and since Ms. Price helped so much with math and already knew the whole process, she volunteered to help with social studies too, because a lot of our social studies materials, we either just don't have much, or we haven't had new materials for a long time, and the SOLs were updated a few years ago, and they hadn't gotten new materials. So we're pretty much following the same policy, the same process. There just isn't as much. We're looking at the old alignment and posted materials that they have. They haven't really posted anything new. Most of our elementary teachers want Five Ponds Press because there's just a lot of really good real pictures of things, and the reading is on grade level and is engaging and that kind of thing. You can just chime in there anytime.
So basically tonight we are opening up our social studies textbook adoption. The math books are gone. If anyone ever wants to see them, I still have them all. But we removed all those so nothing would get mixed up. And so the social studies books are now out. Five Ponds Press is the only thing that was on the 2000, I know it seems really old, but the 2018 approved list from the Department of Education. Like Dr. McDaniel was saying, a lot of the teachers have already, just me walking through the hallway, said, we love Five Ponds Press for the earlier grade levels. So that is the reason why that is the only thing there, is because it was the only thing that was approved back in 2018. And if you click on, we have the other grade levels, so 6 through 8. I will tell you, those teachers are also telling me they also like Five Ponds Press a lot. There's no decision that's been made, but that's just what they're telling me at this point. And then our high school courses do have more options. There is one that is actually off, that is not on that list, and it is Savas, which is what we adopted for middle school math. It came to us very late, so some things just came to me today, honestly. But what we're planning on doing, we have our committee already. Again, with the high school people, we are including everyone, and like 6 up, we're including everyone. The rest of the grades are doing grade representations. They are not the same people that we did for math. We tried to spread the love a little bit so that not everyone had to do the same thing. So there's our committee, and then we are opening up actually today for people to look at those textbooks. The only thing that is different on that is we are going to post tomorrow for the community to know that they're here. We are not allowed, these are different, some of these companies are different than the math ones. We are not allowed to give the access to the online portions to the community. That's just something we were told. So the book is there, the online stuff is exactly the same, we just can't do that online thing.
And that's just the company's policy.
Yeah.
So, when I want to go back to math just for a second, because in purchasing that, we're going to also try to purchase everything they want right now, because we do have some all-in funding left, and we can add all of the supplemental materials they want. We have already purchased some of the manipulatives and hands-on kind of learning materials that they needed to either replace or just add for the curriculum that we've decided on. So we're trying to get them everything their heart desires when it comes to math, and we want to see as much hands-on interactive learning as we can get in those classrooms. Any questions?
Like, what format are these materials in? Are we talking books or student, workbooks, or are we talking,
Yes, all of it.
Yes.
okay,
Everything is now digital,
Right.
but our teachers also requested the hands-on, the books. In the younger grades, they have the tear-out books, basically. Some of those are, they're consumable, so we'll get those every year. With the 6 through 8, those are also consumables. Savas does not offer like a hard version. For the high school level, with Math Space, we're doing digital, and we are going to get, the teachers there requested class sets. The books, the Algebra 2 book, I wish I brought it in here.
It's like this.
It's about this thick. It's heavy. I just came out of the classroom, the kids are not, Cole, you wanna carry that book? And he's a wrestler. He can lift it. But the teachers did not really want the books to go out of the room. They didn't feel like it was beneficial. There's so many resources out there now, but they did want class sets. So we're ordering class sets of those with the digital access so that they can have whatever their heart desires.
And we're ordering a few extra of the printed copies for a student that might struggle with the screen and that kind of thing too, or may need a copy at home for an accommodation and that kind of thing. So
Great.
we're trying to take all those things into consideration as we order.
QR code on it, and it also has like the words where you can type it all out if your phone doesn't have that access, which I don't know that exists anymore. But it allows the parents to look at it and have like a video and explanation, and so that'll be beneficial
to.
to the parents.
Yeah, it's come a long way, I guess. And at first we thought the teachers didn't want those consumable books because of, a kindergartner doesn't know how to turn page 25 and find what they need. But they decided they actually did want those because a lot of them are in color. So when you're looking at patterns and things like that and learning all that, it just makes it come to life a little bit more for the kids when they see that color on the page. So.
And I will tell you, like today I was out in the schools collecting some social studies books. I was walking into a classroom and a teacher said, "Hey, can I talk to you for a second?" I was like, "Sure." And as Dr. McDaniel said, we've been buying some manipulatives and getting them in the room, and with Amazon is not getting back with us very quickly right now with all the weather. But I had distributed some things like last Friday, and the teacher said to me, "I saw that this teacher had this thing that you had purchased, and now is it too late for me to say, I want that now?"
Before they didn't want it until they saw it.
yeah, right, yeah.
So, I'm very proud to say they're thinking outside the box. It's not just the way that most of us were taught math. We're looking at manipulatives and making it hands-on. Any questions?
Did they at the elementary level, at the K2 level, have there ever been social studies books there?
I don't know.
Because I'm saying, we didn't have
I
them.
don't think they have
No.
for a long time.
Yeah.
And so they really wanted something.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah, because it was literature-based.
Yes.
You pulled literature to
Which
teach those
we're kind of
concepts.
hearing that maybe even though if you read that bill, it says social studies, everything's included, that we can wait on that. But the teachers really want materials, so they don't have to come up with
agree.
everything on their own.
Yeah.
And the SOLs changed and included, like second grade in particular, included a lot of new historical figures they have to learn and all of that. And they're just, We want
Yeah.
to make their job a little bit easier
Oh,
if we can by
absolutely.
providing
Yeah.
materials.
And even
That's right.
speaking to the high school teachers, a teacher pulled a book off the shelf and was like, "You want to see when the copyright was?" And I was like, "Well, yeah, we probably need to do something."
That's great.
I'm curious when we're looking at the digital copy and the hard copy, of course, I would hope they correspond directly. So if we have, for example, I mean, not to bring it up again, but we have days for whatever reason that we can't be live and in person, instead of saying, okay, I'm looking at page 112 in the book, that's going to be your page 73, you know, does it correspond
It's
one to one?
It is exact.
Excellent. Okay.
And I mean, the online portions, you can like also assign like videos, which obviously those won't be in the textbook.
And you're saying the QR codes are on some of the consumables and things like that. So is it possible, and again, forgive me, I'm asking, but when you have those sort of items, if we have a student who can't get to the school for whatever reason, can we just send those QR codes so that the parents can scan it or the student can take a look at it?
Yes,
Okay.
Yeah.
And something can be printed at home if necessary?
absolutely.
I think that's huge. Thank you.
It is amazing to me at how far the textbooks have come. And, you know, just coming out of the classroom,
You want to go
technology,
back now? 'Cause
technology is,
so good.
technology is great, but I mean, the kids can use other technology sources to, you know, cheat, honestly, you know, to get the answers. And if they don't have their computer open all the time, I think is a great thing, like, honestly.
Yeah,
you know,
I think there's a lot of value
know
to
you
that.
agree.
But, and I mean, I love reading a newspaper. There's something tactile, tangible, and it's all the senses are involved. But for me, it's a luxury because of timing, travel, necessity, and life being in the way. But I'm also thinking of when we have students who can't make it in. You know, my parents would call and say, "Hey, Chris is not feeling well today. Can you send his homework home with his sister?" And she can make it. Sometimes she made it home, sometimes she didn't, for those who knew. But it sounds like maybe those days are kind of behind us, to where we can say, you know, we're going to email you these QR codes, make sure they cover this section on the Chromebook.
Unless, of course, they don't have access to print or to.
Of course.
And of course,
to look at
teachers
something.
would be more than willing to accommodate.
Yeah.
But we have a lot of more options now,
Yeah. So
a lot more avenues to get the information out.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So it's fitting that during the month of February, when we recognize our school board, that this board has been working hard on capturing what's really working well now in the city of Bradford for our school division and the leadership that supports it, and putting that in a bottle, so to speak, so that boards to come after this one can try and replicate, or at least strive to achieve the same things that we're achieving. And so this board came together a couple of weeks ago and decided what was working well for this board, and decided to put that on paper and to put it out there for perpetuity, quite frankly. And so they've decided also to take it one step further, and that is to create a policy that includes the code of conduct, a brand new code of conduct that this board has unanimously supported. So tonight will be the first reading for policy code BBBD, and this is all about the school board and how it behaves in a board meeting, outside of board meetings, in their interaction with the community. So real quickly, the standards of conduct would be the purpose of the board, trust and collegiality, relationships with the staff of the school division, public conduct and community engagement, disagreement, conflict, and decision-making, preparation, professionalism, and accountability, communication, culture, and institutional memory. And along with that is a place for you to sign. This board thought that it would be a neat addition to the policy to have their name put on an agreement that says, yes, I understand and agree to fulfill this expectation. And so it's not for this board, as they learned a few weeks ago, This board, we kind of know where we are, we know who we are, we know what clicks. But this is for the board 1, 3, 5, 10, 15, and 50 years from now. So that if a person in the community decides to run for the school board and they're not really sure what that entails, well, one of these current members can just say, well, here's what it entails, and here's my signature on it. So I thought it was absolutely engaging, it was productive, it was meaningful, and I think that the city of Bradford and the school division is going to see the dividends from this policy for years to come. So this is the first reading. As you all know, please consider it over the next few weeks and be prepared in March to vote on this policy. I dare ask if there are questions, because really this is what you guys created, so if there are questions, you have a memory problem. But I do appreciate I do appreciate this board's willingness to see what's working and try to capture it and replicate it and really pass it down. So thank you all for that. It was tough work, and you all adjusted your schedules and things like that, so thank you. Any questions seriously? Are there any questions about that before we?
It just helped, it helped to make us really think about what is the proper, productive way to hold this position.
Well, when it first came, you're right, because when it first came about, one board member who I'll not name, now that's a he, all right, that narrows it down.
Well, we went that far.
Said to me at a volleyball game, is there something we're doing wrong?
That nailed it.
This certain board member was watching his daughter play volleyball, but I'm not going to name it. No, Mr. Dobbins did say to me, he said, we have this meeting coming up. Are we in some sort of trouble? And I said, no, you're not in trouble. Quite to the contrary, you are doing great things, and we just need to sort of etch that in stone, and that's what we've done here. So kudos to this board for realizing it, and more importantly, kudos for taking action to see that it gets replicated in years to come.
I just had to get clarity, that's all it was.
And I think this is good for us, but I think it is especially good for any citizen who's considering, if I'd had this to read
Sure.
3 years ago,
Yes.
I don't know. I mean,
Sure.
yes, it mirrored my thoughts and beliefs, but did I really comprehend what it looked like all together?
Sure. Right. We discussed that very thing. There's not a job description for someone who wants to run for office. This comes really, really close.
Plus, I think it also helps even if people are not interested in being on the school board, but have an interest
Mm-hmm.
in our school system and our community to have access to it to read also.
I
And
agree.
they could say, hey, item number, we need to talk about that.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
You know,
Some accountability.
It opens,
Yeah.
it opens doors to knowledgeable, same-footed conversations.
Sure. Well put. It doesn't say anything about being sane in here.
For
So-
what it's worth, for everyone else that isn't involved, for all of y'all that haven't borne through, the reason we're joking, laughing, and kidding about this, it's not that we're not serious about it. It's not that it's not a very, very serious thing, but not for any other reason, just understanding. We have spent an exponential amount of time and professionally directed, given conversations, reviews. We all had homework to do. I feel like it was graded.
2 or 3 times.
It wasn't graded on
I was
a,
the only one that did my homework, by the way.
There's always one.
it was graded on a
redeemed
curve
himself
because of
now.
some people. But the idea was, it was recognized from an outside professional saying, I've never really given it much thought, but we do have 5 completely different, absolutely diverse backgrounds, separate ideologies. Regardless of what you think, we're really, the only commonality we have is we love the Bradford City Public Schools and we want to give back something. And we've learned a lot of things along together on how to do that. So to me, the fun part was putting in the extra work, saying, yeah, we want to do this, not for us, but it is every student every day. And for all of you all that we all said the same thing. We've probably said that phrase 200 times making this document. Jane and I joke and jest because we've had the conversation recently about how many times are we going to keep beating this thing? Please stop asking questions.
We're in a good spot.
But we are, and it's that myopic vision to say, we're good, but it's not about that. It's about what happens next year, what happens 10 years from now. This is also a living document, so 10 years from now, change it. Next year, change it. You can. But it's how do you recognize and take that moment in time, is tell that story of how do you take, well, this is going to sound like a reality TV show, so y'all buckle up for this one, okay? How do you take 5 people who have nothing else in common in the world and get them to actually work on a common path to get somewhere good for those who benefit? Well, it's this. And we spent the time, effort, energy, and hours with a professional guide in order to build that pathway. I can honestly say if I had this 8 years ago, would I be sitting here today? Yeah, I would. I wish I had this. I wish I would have had this, because I would have looked at it and said, okay, here's the job that I'm applying for. Am I qualified? Not completely, but I'm willing to learn. Do I believe in the other 4 people that are on the board with me? Yeah. Not completely, but I'm willing to learn. And I think we still have this conversation. So I think that's what this document says. It's, I don't understand it all completely, but I'm willing to learn. Explaining that to someone, and it's near and dear to my heart, especially this year, because seasons of change begin and end. So it's important to me to leave something better than I found it, and that's what we're trying to do. So I'm off my soapbox.
Nice. And so next month we will have, this will be an action item, and we can vote on that. All right, next we have our mid-year literacy assessment update. Mrs. Jane Cox has offered to come up and walk us through it. Ms. Cox?
Good evening. Thank you for this opportunity to give a brief update on how our literacy assessments have been going at mid-year. Stacy, do you have the presentation? Okay, he's working on it. That's good, because I'll talk with or without it, but that might help a little bit. Thank you very much. So before all the snow came, we were able to administer VALs mid-year, as well as MAP testing for our intervention students. And I just want to take a few minutes to share some good news. You probably remember for VALs, students in kindergarten through 3rd grade are assigned to bands of risk based on their score. And students in the high risk band are the ones that we're most concerned about. They're most at risk for developing reading difficulties. And we also have moderate risk and the goal, low risk. We're trying to move as many students as we can to that low risk band. And you can see that kindergarten is really doing a great job at just that. So in the fall, we had about 30% of our kindergartners in that low risk band, which was not bad. But at mid-year, they have more than doubled the percent of students in the low risk band. So now more than 60% of our kindergartners are right where we want them to be. And I feel like that's representing how much hard work the teachers and students have been putting in, and it's a very solid foundation for our readers in Radford City Schools. 1st grade, very similar. Look at that green at mid-year. So they've also had tremendous growth, and we're very proud of that. And if you're wondering how does this compare to last year's, the 3rd set of bars shows you there was very similar trends last year, but in each of these grade levels we have exceeded the percentages that we achieved at mid-year last year, so that's great.
Can I just add, please?
Yes, sir.
That this information is based on an assessment that is statewide. It's
That's right.
Our teachers are doing the work, and it's not like they're coming out of their classroom saying, okay, that's about all I can do. No, we assess the kids on the same common assessment as the rest of the state, and that's where we end up. I think that speaks volumes that we're held to a higher standard because it's against other school divisions in Virginia. So, sorry.
No, that fits perfectly with what I was going to say about 2nd grade. They have a similar trend of moving all of these students into the low risk band. And you may remember about a year ago, I told you that McCarg's second grade was first in the CIP for moving students into the low-risk band at mid-year. And you can see where that bar was last year, and we're even a little bit higher this year. So we're continuing to do great things. And for people who prefer the numbers or you want to see the more detailed percentages, you're welcome to check out this chart. And then I'd just like to offer a few general reminders about VALS. Everybody at McCarg in kindergarten through second grade takes it fall, mid-year, and spring, but it's different for third grade through eighth grade. So in third grade and up, we're only testing the students that we're already concerned about. So for third graders, we're testing the ones who scored in the high-risk band in the spring. And for fourth through eighth grade, we are just testing the students who failed their SOL at the end of the previous year. So those students in third through eighth grade are the ones who are receiving intervention. And we chose HMH Read 180 as our VLA-approved intervention program, which consists of about 30 minutes of small group instruction every day with a reading specialist or a trained literacy paraprofessional, in addition to about 15 minutes, 3 or 4 times a week of computer practice that is individualized to meet the student needs. And as part of that HMH Read 180, the students are completing MAP testing to measure their academic progress. It is showing their growth on a computer adaptive norm reference test. And like Dr. Joyce pointed out, VALS is for everyone across Virginia. MAP testing is nationally normed. So we're seeing how our intervention students, our struggling students, did compared with students all across the country, not just intervention students. So this graph was provided by HMH. The black bars are showing you how students scored on the test in the fall or beginning of the year. The pink bars are showing you the middle of the year scores. And I love the typical line that they've put in horizontally to show us the average score of kids across America, not just intervention kids, and how they're typically scoring at this point in the year. And check out 5th grade and 7th grade. Our intervention students are above the projected line for a typical student. And even for all the other grades, that's really terrific growth. For those of you who prefer just the numbers, you can see a little more detail on this screen. It breaks it down a little bit more into the 2 pathways within Read 180. The code pathway is for students who are still really needing phonics instruction on a word reading level. And then the students who are a little bit more advanced are in the comp or workshop pathway, where they're focusing on comprehension, vocabulary, and fluency instruction more. But you can see our average scores for beginning and middle of the year, and how in some of those grade levels they're not just approaching, they're already exceeding the typical average score for everyone at the end of the year. So we're seeing great progress on the MAP test as well. I also like this graph that the HMH provided that is predicting how our intervention students will do on their SOLs this spring based on their MAP test performance and how they're doing with the Read 180 program. So remember, all of the kids represented in this graph failed their reading SOL in spring of 2025. But the students represented in blue are projected to pass. Yellow, there's a lot of yellow, are projected to be approaching proficiency. So maybe they'll pass, maybe they'll be right below. We hope if they're right below that they'll be within that retake range so that they can end up being a pass. And considering that all of these kids would have been purple on last year's graph, the fact that we just have little slivers of purple represented for students who are likely to fail it this year, I think it's showing you that the program seems to be working and meeting the needs of our students. So what does all this mean? I think our teachers are doing a fantastic job providing solid core instruction to their whole group every day. We're also providing effective supplemental instruction and intervention where needed. And I think we want to keep doing what we're doing to continue with these positive trends. Do y'all have any questions? Okay, thank you
Very
so much.
impressive. Thank you.
All right, there have been some questions revolving our decisions to close schools. And so the team decided last week that it would be a good idea for us to publish some of the most frequently asked questions when it comes to decisions about closing schools. And so I just wanted to draw to your attention that we have published that. There's a sort of how to get there on our Facebook page, but then on our website, it's under the Families tab, under the Weather Closings tab. So what we did last week was put together all the things that sort of go into the decision that's made when it's time to close schools. Not the least of which is, are our roads passable? But there are also temperatures to consider. There is food service to consider. There are, I mean, I could go on and on. HR considerations about which days we count as out, which days we count as remote. There are a lot of things, and I'm not trying to sit here and say that woe is me, we can't, we're just treading water here. The team does a fabulous job. I mean, I've talked to Mike Grimm more in the last 2 weeks than I've ever talked to anyone. But there are just a lot of things, a lot of considerations that have to be made. And so a couple of the board members decided that it would be a good idea to post these frequently asked questions, and we're happy to do that. So that when we do get calls here at central office, or our building leaders get calls there, they can just simply direct most of the callers to this document on our website. So I wanted you guys to have a look at it. It's thorough. It's not all inclusive. I'm sure there could be something that comes along that we haven't thought of. My mind goes directly to a train derailment, but these are most of the items that I didn't mean for that to be funny.
Got our attention.
But these are the high flyers. These are the things that we consider most when it's time to decide whether it's safe to send kids to school, what time we send them to school, and so forth. So if there are any questions, I'm happy to field those now. I have most of the team with me now. Dr. McDaniel, Mr. Grimm, Lisa Thomas helps us with school nutrition decisions, and Brian Dyes, our communication director. So you have most of us here, and we're happy to answer questions. The good news is we're not going to close schools anymore this year, so this will just be put on the shelf to collect dust. I know, I've tried that.
Exactly.
I don't think it doesn't work that way.
Mr. Grimm did that last time.
It doesn't work that way. I don't believe in all that.
Look, you see the disappointment this young man's made?
Sorry, Cole. Be honest, you started missing your friends, did you not? Okay. And obviously we're not the only division that goes through this. Every division that experiences weather-related closures has the same team in place and makes the same tough decisions. The good news is we have a supportive community. I have a very supportive board. So once we make the decision based on the safety of the students and staff arriving to school, then the rest of it really doesn't matter. Yeah, we've got to count hours and we've got to count days and we have to check a few boxes, but no one during those 2 weeks was placed in harm's way, and we'll deal with the rest of it later.
For me, I think that's the main point. There's a lot of people online complaining. It's easy to do that through social media, especially when you're sitting on your couch because you don't have to go to work. But the people I did have a few people reach out to me and say, hey, what's the deal with this? Are we going to school? Like, okay, first off, understand it's not one person flipping a coin going yes or no. There is a team of people, and I've learned this, there's a dedicated team of people who do have extensive conversations, and it's not a decision made lightly. It's we've talked about it. I'm going to out you on this one. It's the agonizing decision to say what's the right thing to do. But what you said at the end there was the key. What keeps everyone safe? I've said for years in banking, I could give out gold bars. We don't. But I could give out gold bars to every person who walked into an office every day and someone would complain because they didn't get theirs first, it wasn't facing the right direction, or it wasn't as shiny as the one before or after. But ultimately, if you want to be upset, if you have concerns, if you have issues, if you don't feel like it was the right call, feel free to reach out to one of the board members, let us know. We don't know everything, but we are your liaison, your voice between the community and the schools. But I promise you, what you're going to hear from me is, I have faith in the team here to say by the time they make that decision, they have exhausted every safe opportunity up to and including for those who are not happy about sidewalks, streets, and or corners. Trust me, I've seen the principals out there with shovels digging on it, cursing the day they were born because they're like, I'm out here digging through this. This is not what I went to all these years of school for. But they do it because they care. Folks, give them a little grace, be a little understanding, try and be a good person and say, we're just trying to keep everybody safe. You know, the employees, the staff, and everything, because I promise you the folks that are on that team have already been here. They've gotten through whatever's out there. I'm not going to say we're not going to do it again because, but Cole, I'm with you, buddy. Not we. You and the team do what you have to keep everybody safe, sound, and responsible within the community. I'm not the first, I won't be the last, but thank you for that. Thank all of you who are on that team for that. It is appreciated. I know you don't feel like it. I know you don't see it online, but thank you. I do appreciate it. Now, I hope the community will rally behind that as well.
By and large, the community's been very supportive of our decisions. Mr. Grimm, I need to say his team with the custodial and maintenance folks, when we're closed, they're not closed. When we're home on a delay or not coming in, his guys are coming in. So I just want to make sure that we and ladies, that we draw attention to that, because they are the ones that, you know, are doing the back-breaking work so that eventually we can come back to school. And these 2 weeks had a little bit of everything, and we just couldn't keep up. Simple as that. So anyway, I'm happy to field questions about the way we come to those decisions. All right. Mr. Howard, if you would, please, we'll move now to the enrollment. $590 for our residential in-person students. Did I skip one?
RFP.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Grimm. I told you, I talked to Mr. Grimm way too much lately. The last thing I want to do is have him come to the podium and talk. Sorry, that's on me.
Every day we're closed, I start my day with morning sunshine.
Yeah. At about 5 a.m. or 4:30 a.m. like you. Sorry about that. I did not mean to skip over Mr. Grimm. He's going to talk to us about the RFP process. Mr. Grimm.
Good evening. So we have been very busy in the last 2 weeks. You wouldn't believe that, but it's been true. We started this RFP process for facilities needs assessment back in December. It was released, I believe, the last day before winter break. Proposals were submitted to us, I believe on the 26th. We had 5 different firms turn in for those. We invited everyone back to come present to us to get more information. 4 of those firms took us up on that, which was excellent because we could ask very specific questions to each of those in our 6-person evaluation committee. We have selected one to move forward with. We are starting that communication to determine how we want to figure out contract pieces of that and pricing. So we're working with some of our legal counsel to make up a better contract to get that covered. One of our biggest pieces is we get everything out of it that we need to determine our facilities, where we're headed long range, not just 10, but maybe 20 years. Our basic goal here is not to have a shelf item that sits up there and says, oh, look how pretty that is. This should be a document that we use in the next 5 to 10 years to determine what projects are the highest priority. And this covers everything from size of classrooms to best serve our community and our class sizes, to the age of our facilities, to the effectiveness, because age and effectiveness do not always play hand in hand, and also determine ADA compliance as a part of that too. So we're actually doing a separate ADA compliance piece that we're getting information back on now, and this will also include those components. And so there are several pieces to this. We hope to have information to you between the interim, between board meetings, so you can be on top of what's going on. And then we'll definitely finalize that by the next board meeting, we hope. Yeah. But we actually are keeping the name of the firm under hat in case those negotiations crumble, so that we can move on to the next one without any hurt feelings. So. What's that?
That was my only question.
Yeah. Who is it? Who is it? And we still need to reach out and finalize some of that communication, because we just made that decision late last week, and today's Tuesday evening, and sometimes emails don't form themselves quick enough. So we're kind of moving forward with that piece. We'll hopefully start those communications and then move through the process pretty quickly. Our goal is to have an initial draft assessment back by June 30th. So that gives them the entire rest of the school year to get in. A lot of that's done after hours anyway. And then be able to finalize that right before school starts. So we have an idea of what we need going into, well, the fiscal conversation happens now, but we know exactly where we are. Make that a separate project going into next fiscal year. So I have nothing to share concrete. There we go.
Well, thanks for nothing.
You're welcome. You ask, I serve.
I didn't mean to skip you, sorry. But turns out I skipped nothing.
There you go. I mean, you wanted me on there. I'm like, don't do it.
No, it's good.
I have a secret.
It's a good process, and it's going to yield some really good results.
Well, I mean, it
Thank-
updates us, and we were wondering where that was going. So
Yeah.
even though you can't tell us like the concrete answers, we still are like, oh, okay, we're.
So we could be like, okay, we're closed today, but let's bring in 4 different people or 4 different groups to come talk to us. And so, yeah, it's like trying to get everybody in by 10 o'clock as the presenters are coming in at the same time. Well, we've been here since like 5:45, so a little bit grumpy. So there we go. Good time.
Thank you.
Okay, sorry. Our enrollment for residential in-person is right at 590. We've slipped just a bit from my magic number 1,600. Virtual students at 1,461 for an overall enrollment of 3051. We'll move now to, I'm almost afraid to say now, attendance. Okay. Our attendance, I'm glad that Mr. Freeman's here because Dalton Intermediate School won the monthly challenge in attendance, so congratulations to you and your team. You know, I don't mean to take away anything, but this was a tough one because we missed the entire week at the end of January. There was some fun between principals during that week too. A couple of calls for recounts and things like that. But we are happy with our overall division attendance at over 95%, so that's not bad for the middle of winter. You also see a rundown of the letters and attendance meetings and court hearings. That's right, that's what we like. Other duties or key points would include 20 phone calls, texts, or meetings with parents and students daily, collecting data in real time and working with principals, parents, and students to assign night school and/or Saturday school to earn flex time, which will increase their success academically and reduce the absenteeism. Representation on various community groups, and only one new CHINS petition has been filed with the court system this school year. 3 prior CHINs under review for violations. This is 1/10 of other school divisions in our area, so that's something we can be very proud of. And as you guys know, that CHINs, that's when you involve the courts, and it gets a little uncomfortable. All right, Radford High School, year over year is trending upward at this time of the year. Same can be said for Dalton Intermediate. Bell Heath is trending in the right direction. And McCarg is seeing just a dip. Mr. Keith's going to be with us tonight, so we'll go easy on him. But that's just a slight dip. It stands out very well on a black background with a yellow line. But if you were,
He said
right, those are little.
They had been
Yeah.
hit with flu and strep, he
Yeah,
said.
and he warned me about that. He told me right after Christmas. He said we're pretty sick down here, so.
I think it's important to look at the scale too.
Right.
Because it looks really frightening.
Yes.
It looks really frightening. It's only 2%.
Right. 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 So I'm glad you understand that. All right, incidences by school. Mr. Howard, we will go over those. Again, this is really good data, so we're proud of it. It's just that a lot of the misbehaviors were at home this time. So we'll, right, if parents could submit their information. Right. All of these folks came in under the year-over-year average or numbers, so we're real proud of that. Dalton really took care of business last month, so thank you. And then the high school also had a drastic drop. So we appreciate the hard work that the principals do, the assistant principals and the staff to help everyone stay focused on instruction. Okay? All right. And that, Madam Chair, is all I have.
Okay. Reports of board members. Cole, would you like to go first?
I would. It's been a while since I've been able to be back and give a report, so I'm very excited to be here. I appreciate the school board. I want to put that out. Thank you all very much for everything you do. As a student, it's great to have you five here, and then Dr. Joyce and Carrie to be here and just help provide for us with our best interests at heart. Since I wasn't here in January, I will be able to report on the whole second semester starting in January. But as always, first I'm going to brag about our sports at the high school. The swim and dive season is now coming to an end. Dive had regions yesterday, and swim will travel to Martinsville tomorrow for their regional meet. And swim and dive states will take place next week. Boys basketball is 12-4, so they are having a great season. They have 4 games left. Their senior night is next Tuesday against Martinsville High School, and the team should start region play in 2 weeks, the week following senior night. And the girls basketball team also doing well, 9-6. Their senior night will be this Friday at the high school. That senior night will actually be paired with the wrestling team, where the wrestling team senior night got canceled due to weather. They have graciously invited us to be able to get recognized so that all the seniors can be recognized at that time. As I mentioned, the snow canceled a few wrestling events, but regions and states are coming up, so the season is coming to an abrupt end. On Saturday, the boys will travel to Liberty High School for regions, and Sunday and Monday, the girls will travel to Franklin County High School for their regions, and then the states will be the following weeks. Indoor track team is doing very well. At the most recent meet, 2 new people qualified for states, and Essig Williams broke the school record in triple jump, so congratulations to him. And the team has regions approaching quickly on the 22nd. Due to the snow, MAC finally had its first competition last night at Auburn High School. The math, science, and history teams all won their matches, so the teams did very well considering they haven't been at school for so long and had just come back, and it was great to see that. Their next competition is this Thursday at home against Narrows High School, and they're working on rescheduling all the missed meets due to the snow. They're trying to work to get all those in for our MAC people. On January 7th, students returned after winter break to begin the 3rd quarter and the 2nd semester. This is the first year that students have had new classes in the 2nd semester due to the block schedule that we just adopted. And the new classes are definitely a new experience. Some students say it feels almost like the first day of school again, where you walk in, kind of unknown who's going to be in your class, who you're sitting beside. It's always great to meet your teachers, go over the syllabus, and it feels like the first day of school in a way. But students say the transition was smooth and they are excited for their new classes to be able to start up. Most of our AP courses are set in the 2nd semester because of the AP test scheduled in May. Some of our AP classes, like AP Biology and AP Environmental Science, are year-long classes that carried over from the 1st into the 2nd semester to provide extra time for students to prepare for that difficult AP tests. One of our new classes that we're offering this semester is dual enrollment sports medicine and athletic training. I remember Ms. Mosby mentioned that earlier, which I actually have the opportunity to be enrolled in. That class is taught by Ms. Wright, now Mrs. Moore, with the help of Coach Woff, our athletic trainer. And the class, which began here in the 2nd semester, it's going very well, I can say. Students have been given the opportunity to learn about the sports medicine field as a whole, as well as the job of athletic training with the help of Coach Woff, who's obviously a professional, to be able to give us feedback. Just yesterday, we received a large shipment of physical supplies and materials for our students to be able to see models and develop hands-on learning to deepen their understanding of the field. So thank you to Dr. Joyce for providing those materials for our class, because they will really help for years to come for students to really deepen their learning in that class. But the thing about that class in specific and every other class is students not just considering a future in the health field also benefit from it, because it broadens their horizons to a class they might not have taken initially. Our Student Government Association has been working extra diligently on creating fun extracurricular events for students to attend. mentioned earlier, on Thursday, juniors and seniors will actually have a dance after the varsity basketball game, which is a great opportunity, especially after being out of school for so long, to be able to come and enjoy each other's company with all our friends and have a fun outside school event. Talking about the snow days, I know we mentioned a lot. We missed 10 days of in-person learning, but Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of both weeks were counted as the remote learning days. These days really help students to stay on track with the curriculum of their classes. During these days, teachers posted assignments either on Google Classroom or other sites for students to attend at home or wherever they were during the day. And it really set expectations for students and kept them accountable to help keep the routine. So the transition back to school was a lot easier, especially for the AP tests, which are coming up in May. The deadline is set. It can't be moved. So teachers are really crunched for time. And so the remote learning days helped teachers with the transition and also keep the class rolling through the break. And so, as mentioned earlier, our rising ninth graders today learned about our new CTE classes that are offered, so hopefully they will be able to take those classes and get interested now. But everybody is now beginning to plan their classes, and we will begin registering for classes soon, as Mr. Simpson said. And then tomorrow, rising 10th through 12th graders will actually have the opportunity to walk around and learn about all the new classes and all classes offered at RHS, where people in the classes will be able to offer insight and information about the teachers and the curriculum and things that they might not get from a class overview. You can really get a deeper understanding of what they will get into. And then one advantage of the block schedule is, as mentioned, that you can have more classes. And so offering these classes, I've been in 4 of the new classes we've offered: small engine repair, DE Western Civilization, DE Sports Medicine, and AP Environmental Science. I can say that these new classes really widened my horizons of things that I don't think I would have taken. Small engine repair in particular, the new CTE class, I wasn't interested in small engines at first, but being able to take that class really deepened my understanding of how things work, and it was a way to get hands-on learning that I wouldn't have had otherwise. So I think one advantage of the block schedule is definitely being able to have these new classes for students to take. Overall, the second semester of the school year is off to a good start. As mentioned, we've missed many days, but the remote learning helped keep us on track and made the transition back to in-person learning very smooth. Students are definitely happy to be back, I can say, after such a long break and seeing your friends. The whole atmosphere at the high school is very, very good, so everything's going great.
Thank you. Sounds wonderful. All right, who else?
Well, we haven't been very busy either, since there's been school stuff. We're not doing winter fests, we're moving it, so things we had signed up for haven't taken place. But yesterday, Amanda and I were privileged to work with the Scholastic Bowl team. It was all I could do, read those questions. But I did know a few. I knew mantle, layers of the earth, and I knew something, zero for something else.
Yeah.
And
You
the-
do several.
But there were a lot of questions, and those kids were so smart. And I thought, you're asking me to be a judge of them? Thank goodness the notes were here that we could, follow along with. And we know who the best team of the day was. It was Martinsville, Patrick County, Radford, I knew I was gonna miss one.
Glenver.
Glenver, yes, thank you. Yeah, those 4 students were, schools were in competition with each other. And And we also saw differences in interest in the teams, because when you would finish a section of questions, the coach could put in substitutes. Take it, hey, you come sit on the bench, you go sit in there, okay? And there was one school, we all looked at them and went, and they said, we don't have anybody else.
It was just there for them.
I mean, it was 4 of them, that was it.
They were smart though.
They were good kids, but I mean, you know, the leader of the group would say, oh, so-and-so will answer that question, because it was their interest and specialty. Well, they had the 4 of them, yeah, but they did well, but it did make me realize how blessed we were, because I think we had 3 or 4 that could substitute in and out. So, you know, I had done this a couple of years ago, several years ago, before I was on board. And even the process has changed in that amount of time. And it was just impressive. Yes.
I agree with Jane. Rafford High School, just hands down. Like even with the timing, with the matches that had Rafford High School, it just went faster because Rafford would answer before the question was even finished. And I mean, it was just like, I knew some of the science, I knew some of the English and some of the history, but apparently science was my thing, because I was like, okay, in English, but we did good. Let's see, Mr. Brown was beside us. He was doing the timekeeping, and so I asked him how many he knew. He knew a few too, so we all felt pretty good about ourselves, but not as good as the Rafford team, man. They knew almost all of them. I think they only missed like 2 or 3. They knew all of the questions, so that was impressive. So hold on, let me pull it up. So on January 26th and 27th, I was scheduled to attend the VSBA Capitol Conference in Richmond, and that's where we get to go to the state capitol and talk to lawmakers and hear about bills, and of course Snowmageddon put an end to that, but I was able to go virtually, so which is not the same at all, but it was really informative. They did the best they could with what they had, because no one was able to go. It was all virtual, and we got to hear about several bills that were coming up and several that looked like they were probably going to pass, and how that would affect the school system. And let's see, Lieutenant Governor Hashmi, she talked to us about several things with the school system and several bills that, you know, she thought looked pretty good. So it was very informative, and I did a write-up when I finished the virtual session. I did a write-up for the school board and administrators about like which bills were looking like they were going to pass and how it would affect us, and it was really interesting. So I won't go into that with you guys, but I was able to do that. And then of course the judging thing yesterday, which was a lot of fun. I had never done that before, so I was like, oh, okay, this is what I'm doing now, it's fine. But it was very interesting, and I am always impressed with our students and our schools and our educators and our administrators, and I'm not just saying that, I really, really am. So that's really all I had.
Okay, anybody else? No? I was just going to say that this Thursday, the Southwest Virginia Governor's School Science Fair takes place, and if you've never been, you please try it. It just will blow you away. The judging for their presentations will be from 2:30 to 5:30, and they would rather not have visitors there at that time. So prior to 2:30, let's see, hang on. Public viewing from, no, scratch that. Public viewing is open from 2:30 to 5:30 and 8 to 8:30. Okay, so that's to keep out of the judging part of it. But we have, maybe 8 students who will have presentations there that you can get to see. And last year was my first time going, and I'm going to say that I'm old, but I can remember when Radford High School had a science fair. My teacher was Mae Jennings for biology, and a friend of I actually won first place in the science fair that year.
Nice.
But let me tell you, it didn't look anything like what you're going to see at this science fair. It was not. Also, I'm looking forward to volunteering on Friday for Winter Fun Day at McClark. And I can remember Winter Fun Days in the past when I was teaching there, so that should be a lot of fun. And they did have to reschedule it, but it's coming up. That's all for me. Okay, are we good? All right, then we have no action items, correct, this time. So, Ms. Swing, would you read us into closed session, please? Well, I wondered about that.
Let me consult with my counsel. I bet they do.
We have in the past.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Simpson.
Okay, all right.
Otherwise, you'd scratch all those classes.
All right, back up. Okay, so I would entertain a motion, Oh, gosh. All right, is there a motion to add the new high school courses that are being added to the agenda?
So moved.
And a second.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed. Now, action item. Okay, I would entertain a motion then to approve those courses as presented by Mr. Simpson tonight. Is there a motion?
Madam Chair, make the motion that we approve the new courses being offered by the high school, being proposed to be offered by the high school.
Okay, and is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, now we're back on track. So, Ms. Swing?
Madam Chair, I move that the board convene into closed session pursuant to section 2.2-3711A1 to discuss the appointment, resignation, and retirement of employees of the school board, as well as section 2.2-3711A3 to discuss consideration of the acquisition of real property for a public purpose or of the disposition of publicly held real property, where discussion in an open meeting would adversely affect the bargaining position or negotiating strategy of the public body, and section 2.2-3711A, section 29, to discuss the award of a public contract involving the expenditure of public funds, including interviews of bidders or offerers, and discussion of the terms or scope of such contract, where discussion in an open session would adversely affect the bargaining position or the negotiating strategy of the public body.
Okay. That was a motion, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so is there a second to that motion?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, we're in closed session now. entertain a motion to convene in regular session.
So moved.
And a second.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, and now, Ms. Swing, if you'll certify us.
Madam Chair, I certify that only public business matters lawfully exempted from open meeting requirements by Virginia law, when only such public business matters as were identified in motion by which the closed meeting was convened were heard, discussed, or considered in said meeting by this public body.
Is there a motion to accept this certification?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
Discussion? Anyone, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. I need a motion to accept personnel matters 1.0. Approve personnel matters 1.0.
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We had no student matters, we had no tuition students. Is that all that we need to? Okay, all right. So the date for the next regular board meeting is March 10th at 6 o'clock, right here at the School Administration Building, and we are adjourned. Have a good evening.